official podcast, number 1, Mr. Gary Ashton. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Don't tell.
Without the intel.
There we go. So
Came all the way from the Gulch to the Gulch.
Yep, from Franklin to the Gulch.
No, for me, I was in the Gulch
you?
to the Gulch.
To the Gulch to the Gulch.
Yeah.
Well, you don't leave the Gulch.
So I have realized that, yes, I'm pretty much a creature of habit and stay in the Gulch as much as possible.
Yeah.
A couple of days recently, I had to go out and be involved in looking at some homes and then realizing there's a lot of traffic.
It's horrible.
When it comes to rush hour, yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. Hopefully this is going to be more fun and interesting than the majority real estate podcast. Nothing against real estate podcasts, but that's not why I'm here.
Oh, they're always fun.
Well, real estate's great, and we do have real estate questions, but the majority of my audience is really interested in the team you built,
Okay.
the progression of that, and really what you're doing here in Nashville. So I know how you first started out, but can you share the journey from your first real estate situation? Was it a hotel?
Yeah, me and my dad had what we'd call a mom and pop motel in Florida, Clearwater Beach. Had to, we ended up selling that because it just came to the point where my dad was at the time where he wanted to retire. I was involved in music, and Nashville was beckoning, and so the motel was on a street on Clearwater Beach, a bunch of other motels there. So developers were interested in talking to all the other motel owners about selling their motel. So I said we should all get together and work as one and have strength in numbers, as it were. So my buddy owned Century 21 down there, and so I was talking to him about the whole process. And then he kept saying, you should come work for us. You should get your license. Come and work for us. And I said, nah, I want to do music. I'm moving up to Nashville to be a world
What genre?
famous.
Rock? Rock and roll?
I'm just a drummer, rock pop drummer. So in my mind, well, I'll just do country. That'll be really easy. And so, long story short, the developers didn't buy that motel. They backed out. But that had already got my dad with the mindset of, I'm gonna sell the motel and go to travel around the U.S.
Yeah.
in an RV. I keep looking down because I got one of my dogs here.
Yeah.
And
They're our special guests.
yeah, this one's going to determine to ruin something. And so we ended up just selling the hotel traditionally to somebody. But that enabled us then to, for my dad to retire, then also me to be able to come up to Nashville. And I thought the best way to leverage a 1031 exchange, because we had some profits, so we had to reinvest those. So get my real estate license, get the inside scoop, get the intel on all investment properties, because that's what we were going to buy. And then I would do music, because I'm really good.
Yeah.
So I thought, until I got to Nashville. Then I realized, there's a lot of people who are just phenomenally talented. So, I was a big fish in a small pond, as it were. And then I came to this big sea of Nashville, which is just full of talent. And that's when I realized, I'm not going to make any money doing this.
Yeah.
So I had to focus on real estate. And it kind of tied in because my background is in advertising and marketing. I was in a band in England that did pretty well. That fell through. Came to Florida, did the motels. But this is in the mid '90s, so that's when I'm gonna throw this ball for the dog. Go get it. When the internet came along, so I was generating leads using the newspaper, and then we created a trifold brochure, which we would send then to people who inquired on the traditional ad. Then we realized, well, we can put all that information onto a web page, because the websites came along, and really then all we have to do is tell somebody the URL. So that's what kept the hotel like 100% occupancy. So then sold the hotel, then moved to Nashville. I was going to do music. Then I realized I was going to do real estate because it wasn't that good. And then I could apply the knowledge that I'd got from working with our hotel website, which essentially was one of those things I could transfer all the information from the trifold brochure onto the website, but then realized I could actually create additional pages. And then I realized I could see how I could. Now I know what it is. I was creating the user experience, making sure that when somebody came to the site, they could see all the pictures of the motel, they could see the price of each room, and then see the layout of each room, and then see the views out of those rooms. So I learned how to do basic HTML from doing that, which then translated into when I did the real estate stuff. That was one of the first things I got was my domain, Gary Ashton, because I wanted Gary at Gary Ashton. I thought that was cool. And then from there I realized so I moved to Nashville in 2000. So kind of like at the
peak of online.
Yeah, it was kind of starting. Real estate, I think Realtor.com was already a site because we'd actually used that a little bit. So kind of an early adopter, trying to use technology to move up to Nashville. So that allowed me to reference that in the future. It's like, how was I looking for homes? And so used all that information then. And then, long story short, started getting into creating a website for me to sell leads, which then we were out before Google came along with PPC. Then I realized,
start utilizing
how do I get these PPC leads? And then investigated that. And then once I realized that, because it was going to be tough to get into organic, so then I did PPC, number one in PPC for a while. And I realized that this, like one of my first sales from PPC was back in 2001 was I think it was $1.5 million home. So that would be something equivalent to like 5 or 6 million now.
Yeah.
Just because Nashville's grown.
Boom.
And that was a penny click.
Yeah.
Because I paid a penny for that PPC.
So your return on your investment there.
Correct. And from that is, I mean, it's the perfect example of that. I got to deal with that purchase, but I also got to deal with the seller's home that was in Fieldstone Farms, which back then was like one of the hot spots. So I did all these open houses, generated a bunch of buyers from that, sold the house, but I got, so from that penny click probably made, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000. So, which when the clicks went up to two pennies or 3 pennies, I was like, I'm invested in this. So I would always stay at number one. That enabled me to get contacted by the guys that own Nashville.com, which at the time was as a geo domain was just ranking for absolutely anything that had Nashville in the search terms.
You're pretty good with domains. Like you have like 5 to 20 domains that are pretty high ranked.
Yes. So from there, then realizing, because I was actually leasing Nashville.com, that wasn't mine. So rather than lease,
start acquiring new domains.
So obviously I wanted all the best domain names that were out there. Nashville Homes, Nashville Real Estate. They'd all gone, so I ended up getting other domains like Nashville Buyers and
MLS.
Yeah, Nashville's MLS, and then really got into SEO because I realized this is what I would say about PPC and organic when in terms of real estate. They're both fantastic lead sources. PPC is great. I in terms of real estate, for what I do, I'd say that's like renting. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing SEO and organic stuff, that's essentially building a home. So you have to build a strong foundation. So it takes longer because you have to
can't really just build it on ads because then you're not going to have a good foundation.
Getting backlinks. Then you have to still do. It's like owning a house. There's deferred maintenance if you don't paint every couple of years and if you don't redo the yard. So there's still investment in both. But I did more with the SEO because for me it's harder to compete now with people like Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com. But on the long tail, we do actually.
Yeah, because you got the domain presence.
Yeah, which again I've built up over So we started that in 2004.
Yeah.
So creating the content and continually evolving, continually focusing on the user experience. I mean, it's been a long road. I personally don't think I could do it. You know, if I was starting today, could I just come in and do exactly the same thing? No, and because over that period of time, I generated enough money
Long-term lifetime value.
to reinvest back in the
Yeah.
business. So eventually, I did buy NashvilleRealEstate.com.
Yeah. So a lot of realtors that are going to be listening to this, I think they focus more on the lead side. And you sent me a podcast earlier this week that I watched, which I really liked. Your buddies over at Whitley.
Oh, Grant, yeah,
Grant
yeah,
Wise.
yeah.
Shout out to them. So they talked about dynamic video remarketing, and there's two sides to this. There's the advertising and the outreach, and then there's the internal. I also know you use BombBomb for video integrations, but Grant said that 86% of the industry still does business by referral, but most of their money is spent on top of funnel. And when we talked about paid, it's 0.02% of leads convert with paid ads, which is frightening for me because I'm a paid advertiser.
0.02. So we convert more like closer to, I think, I'll probably be reprimanded for saying this, but I think we're closer to 6 or 7. Because we're also getting leads from, so this is new. I don't think you know this, that we have 100% of Realtor.com leads now that are generated in Nashville. We're also the broker partner with Zillow. So we get, it's called Zillow Flex. So we get all those leads. So we get to get leads that have high intent.
Yeah.
So they're actually really focused. So I always get this wrong. Top of funnel. What's top of the funnel?
Top of funnel is like new acquisition. So cold audience. They've never heard of you. Or
so when you come to Realtor.com or Zillow, then you've probably been looking around for a while. And then when you make an inquiry, you got some high intent. You actually really do want to go see that property. So we got all those leads.
So you focus majority of your efforts, because I would say, I don't know for the right word, shadowing, but back when I first introduced
stalking,
myself to you,
I think is the
stalking. Well, this isn't about me, but so how I first saw you when I moved here to Nashville from San Diego.
Yeah.
I was broke as a joke.
Yeah.
And as a new entrepreneur enthusiast, I said, I want to work with the biggest, best in Nashville. And I knew that didn't come overnight.
Biggest for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest and best.
280 pounds of pure blubber.
Yeah. But I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I took some notes before this podcast because I wanted to look back, because I've only been here 2 times in your office.
Oh,
Majority of the times we're at a Preds game or taking me out to dinner and showing me pretty much all of Nashville. But December 12th, 2018 was the first time I DM'd you. And how I went about that was I drove around Nashville and saw who had the most billboards around. So not only showing your knowledge for web presence, but also local presence as well.
Yep.
And 2019 was when I reached out and said, hey, I want to do a free ad campaign for you.
What did I say?
So then I came into your office and I gave you a pitch deck, and you gave me 2 minutes, and then I met Chamber of Commerce. But then a year later, December 2020, you sent me a DM and said, hey, do you like the Preds? And that was the start of...
Well, I remember you being a cool guy.
Yeah.
And
I'm like
we have the similar interests, advertising, marketing, all that good stuff. So.
And I think I saw that. But the main thing, again, this isn't my show, but the main thing was I saw that you had this understanding of advertising and marketing.
Yeah.
And I knew that it wasn't just some old guy that's like doing newspaper ads, and you actually were in and you understood it.
Yeah.
But I guess going into that, now being able to experience from social media ads, you introduced me to then also the TV agency. Wanted to go into kind of, once you have those leads, so again, the whole premise of that was you understood culture, you understood Nashville, and at the time, a lot of Nissan Stadium, Pred Stadium, a lot of dominance.
Yeah, sport.
there.
You know, so I think I would say we understand all the facets of marketing, which is obviously out of home. You know, we're going to do billboards, sports marketing. It's really what...
Radio's huge too.
Yeah, radio and TV. So we're developing that brand equity. So you can't just do that over a period of, a couple of months, stick up billboards and expect your business to boom. You have to invest. So like when I knew that a competitor was coming in that was going to do billboards, I knew that I had to be the first one in there to get the billboards up, and I committed to a year, and we started out with 50 billboards. So
How many do you guys have now in
we have
Nashville?
about 100,
Okay.
and so you got to be in it for the long haul because there isn't an immediate impact.
Can't just throw one
It
billboard
builds up
and then
that
you're...
awareness, because if you're looking for a house now, you may not be actually buying that house for maybe 6 months to a year, because there's all sorts of
Life, I guess.
Yeah, the journeys of you. So you're
Yeah.
a perfect example. You're getting
Yeah.
married. Are you going to be buying a house tomorrow? No, but when you're getting married, so you might. That's in the back of your mind at some point.
When I need it, you're going to be the guy.
Right. Yeah,
Instead
but-
of just you pop in.
Right, but I'm in a
Yeah.
similar situation because
Yeah.
I'm in a condo, downtown condo, which is pretty cool. I like it, but now I'm getting married and I'm kind of having a extended family, so I'm going to need somewhere bigger. So, if I wasn't in real estate, I would have seen my billboards, probably seen the TV ads, seen the radio, and then go online and then start looking. And so all that brand equity that developed over the past 3-4 years, it comes to fruition when you subliminally see my name maybe on Google, some of the, what do you call it, the long tail links. I know if you Google Nashville real estate, we are number 4 or 5, but we're kind of down the pack a little bit. But if you Google something like West Haven homes for sale in
pop
Franklin,
up.
I think we'd still beat Zillow, number 1 or number
Yeah.
2. So it's creating that awareness so that when somebody goes to that link, or they click on it, or they go to realtor.com, and then it comes to us, and then somebody says, hey, Dean, I saw you were looking at homes in West Haven. This is Gary from the Ashton Real Estate Group. There's like, ding, ding, ding. I've heard that name before. So hopefully you
Those
trust us.
engagements and
Yeah,
touch
yeah,
points.
yeah.
So I got 2 more real estate questions, and then we're going to
Oh, then you're going to ask me, what do we do with all those leads afterwards?
Yeah, no.
Like in
Well,
terms
it's
of-
mostly on your website, a pretty good year 2021.
Yep.
You guys did $1 billion in residential sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty monumental. Can you share any important experiences or deals that were like instrumental to achieving that milestone? Because I know real estate's changing, things change all the time, but that's
How did we get there? I mean, it's over a period of, like, one of my first deals, I think I told you, was that penny click. Then it turns out it was the CEO of EMI Christie Music Group, Rich Peluso. He became one of my first clients. So that enabled me then to reinvest more money in pay-per-click. And then I got Nashville.com. That enabled me to...
So the foundation work from 10 years ago, 5 years ago,
yeah.
eventually
And
started
then-
snowballing. And
Then I got one of the inquiries, and I remember it wasn't from Google, it was from Yahoo. It was the wife of Mike Reinfeld, who then was at the Seattle Seahawks, and he told his wife Susan and said, hey, I think I might be interviewing for the job of the new general manager at the Titans. So she went online, which is kind of happens.
you.
One person of a couple, usually one of them or both, will go, oh, let me see what's available. If we're going to be moving to Nashville, I want to know what's Nashville all about. Because this is 10 years ago, and maybe I think the perception of Nashville has probably changed, but for a long time I think people just thought it was just country music,
yeah,
people with a piece of straw in the mouth on a rocking chair, that perception.
country.
Yeah, so we all know that's changed.
And all those
over.
Californians come in and ruin it, right?
Yeah, anyway, so
They're
she
the
went
worst.
online, she went to Yahoo, she Googled Nashville real estate. I think I was number 1, number 2. I got to talk to her, so that enabled me to meet Mike, and eventually became the realtor for the Titans. And then we realized the value of online lead generation. So I knew that I couldn't do it all through my own SEO. So then we partnered with Zillow. Back then it was called Premier Agent. So I was doing a lot with Premier Agent. Then I knew that Zillow was going to be doing Zillow offers, and they had one broker partner per market. I wanted to be that. So we made sure that we showed how well we were doing, because I think at that point we were spending $150,000, $160,000 a month on lead generation with Zillow. And then, so we ended up getting Zillow offers. That eventually failed, but it enabled us to really put under a microscope the way that we were treating the leads. And so you've met Scott. Scott
Yeah.
became an integral part of the business, how we train the agents, how we develop accountability and tracking. So Zillow essentially became the team leader. So they were saying, what's happening to these leads? So all of those things all contribute to the way that we developed and the business grew in terms of how we track and how we follow up with leads and how they become opportunities for the agents. So I always say that what we do now is like we're focused on qualifying the lead, so then that becomes an opportunity. With the ISA system that we have, we actually have licensed agents, so they're not ISAs.
Yeah, Scott showed me the follow-up process. It's not just you get a lead in and you call them once.
So the what I like to say is it's like running a relay race. The client or the lead is a baton, then it comes into our system. Well, now it's an opportunity, but the ISAs or our internal team are working on nurturing and qualifying that lead. So they're essentially doing a lap. So that lap, is that 1 week or is it
6
2 months or is
yeah.
it 6 years or whatever, right? It may be just 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But then what the ISAs do is hand off that baton to the agent. So the agent really then has the opportunity to take that, essentially a qualified lead. So they may be, like they just want to talk to an agent or they're ready to go and see a property. And then they essentially take that lead, that opportunity, that client, and do another lap. And then they write a contract. And then from there, the idea is...
It sounds just exhausting having to maintain all these relationships.
Because then the idea is to give that lead to the contract to close. So contract to close can work through that and help them through the closing process. And then that gives the agent more time to go out and do what they're best at, which is building relationships and selling homes.
So not only are you building a system for your marketing, building a system for your website, building a system for your relationship, you also have this whole internal system that you got going on to run the team pretty much.
Yeah, and that's not me. That's a bunch of other people.
The team.
Scott, Joe, Deborah, everybody's got their focus on
what they're good at.
It's a cliche, but you want to give the clients the best possible experience. And that comes through knowledge usually, and it isn't just about opening a door, showing somebody a home. You want to be able to give them knowledge about
what they're looking for.
Yeah, the market.
Yeah.
What's the average price of the homes? How long are homes taking to sell in this market? What's the commute times? Having all this knowledge. Like I said, it's a cliche, but we're trying to give the client the best possible experience. And we've developed relationships over since 2000 and when I got my license in 2001. So 22 years of building up relationships with vendors, but also with other realtors, with mortgage companies, with moving companies, with HVAC. So when it comes to working with a client, it's not just about writing a contract and getting a good deal. It's about all those peripherals, which is the added value that it's really hard to put down on a piece of paper and show what the value of an agent is. You'll find out when you talk to somebody that doesn't have that depth of knowledge or support that we have as a team. And we got 180, 190 agents on the team. So if somebody doesn't know something about one area, it's easy just to say, let me get back to you on that. I've got Dean on the team. He's super knowledgeable about the Franklin market and the builders down there, and I can get all that info for you, all that intel.
All the intel.
Yep.
So moving into entrepreneurial questions and more down, I got a deep dive from marketing, but this quote comes from my brother. You were able to go to the game with him once, but being creative in your business model can help you stand out and generate new ways. Mm-hmm. don't be fixated on one particular approach. So the question is, beyond real estate, what advice would you give entrepreneurs looking to expand different areas while maintaining focus on the core business? It seems like you got like a lot of moving puzzle pieces going on.
Well, I don't know. I can only come back to real estate because that's kind of what I knew.
Yeah.
But I have expanded out into, I've invested in different areas. Loop
Yeah.
TV, I think I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to kind of invest in different areas, and really, it's like poker because I really don't know much about the digital advertising space.
Mm-hmm.
I know I talked to you about it, and you thought it was pretty cool. But I also invested in some nursing home opportunities. I was trying to diversify away from real estate, but the ones that I've really invested in really have been real estate related, because that's kind of what I know, and that's probably where I have more influence to make people aware of some of the products that I use that can benefit other people. And I can actually say, I use this.
Yeah.
And if I'm invested in it, then it's an honest, I invest this and I use this, and it's become, an integral part of the growth of the business. So if you wanted to expand and grow your business, this would be a good product to invest in. So I can honestly say,
speak to what you know, pretty much.
kind of, yeah. I also look at it as, I have this spinning plate theory. You can only do so much, right? And so in real estate, I equate that to the number of clients that you're working with. Because if you have more clients, you can... So this is what I show my age. So back in the cabaret TV days when they have people doing shows, talent, maybe America's Got Talent might have somebody that would have a bunch of poles with spinning plates on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
With the little
if you have
sticks.
spinning plates and they're all spinning at 100 miles per hour, that means that you're really paying attention to that client or that product. If you get another 10, now you're up to 15. Now you have to run around a little bit and keep that one spinning, and then oops, that one's wobbling a little bit. Let me go back over here. And then if you get too much, then you're diversifying too much, because then you're not paying attention to this one over here. And next thing you know, that plate's wobbling, and you run to it, and then it falls on the floor. So in terms of expanding your horizons, I think it's a matter of keeping an open mind, but also if you don't understand it, you won't be able to have any influence on that product. Whereas I feel like some of the real estate stuff that I've invested in, I can actually legitimately
Speak to it.
We're using this and I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Going into some marketing.
Okay.
So we did a commercial for you last year.
Yeah, it's great.
Super good. What goes into a 30-second TV commercial that people don't understand?
Oh, probably months of work, months of storyboarding, coming up with ideas. I think Media Breach came up with the foundation of the idea, which we then took, and I talked to you and talked to Josiah, and we kind of tweaked it. And so it was...
collaborative effort.
Yeah, and so not just me, because Media Breach came up with the initial "don't sell without the intel." So then we were taking that, because the foundation of that, I think you were going to chat to me about that. Where that phrase comes from is the fact that we have such a strong presence organically with visits to the website, anywhere from I think it's probably about 8,000 a month to maybe 15,000 a month. A day at the height of the market. So I can always say that we can track the number of people coming to our website. We can see all the homes that they're looking at. So if you're thinking about selling your home, I can tell you roughly how many people have been looking for a home just like yours, so I can market to those people and help you sell your house quicker to our built-in audience. So trying to get that across in 4 or 5 words is pretty tough, right?
Yeah.
And then also I obviously would show people. I would show them the analytics and show how many people are coming in. So that's where the agency came up with "Don't sell without the intel."
Yeah.
So then we took that messaging and then really wanted to make me more of the, when it comes to the intel, the local guy that has the local intel. Because if you're, just like we said earlier on, it's not just about going in and writing a contract, opening a door, writing a contract and helping you buy the house. It's having all that peripheral knowledge of what's going on in the market, which is
And also the
intel.
right areas to buy.
And then you want to know, okay, I'm living here. Well, I don't know. I just moved from New York. They have amazing pizzas. Is there anything good in Nashville pizzas? Oh yeah, I can tell you where the best place to get pizza, in my opinion. You know, so knowing about coffee shops, knowing about parks, what's the best place to go for karaoke, what's the best place to go for live music, you know, entertainment. So that's how we kind of tweaked the original concept to making it me sat on a park bench and then the team coming up and asking me questions. Oh, it wasn't the team. Everybody in that commercial is actually on the team, but
I thought that was brilliant too, by not getting paid actors and actually getting the people on the team.
I've got 180 agents, and I got people. We got musicians. Some of those people were on The Voice or American Idol. You know, they were. Some had moved here to, you know, had done acting in LA, so they were very familiar to all that. So
Yeah.
but the questions they were asking things like, you know, where's the best place to get a burger? And so we, utilizing the fact that I am here, I have knowledge of the market, and we're giving them intel about living in Nashville. And then the final question is, you know, what should I do if I'm buying a house? And then that's where it is, don't sell without the intel. And then obviously it's not just me, it's the whole team.
Yeah.
So that's why we had everybody behind
In the
us
back
kind of
shot.
representing the team. Yeah.
Yeah. That was so much fun. I know I was in California for that, but
Yeah. And it was hot because I was out.
yeah.
But subtle things like having
Yeah.
the Nashville newspaper, the Tennessean. We had, I don't know if you've been able to see, but I've got my dogs walking around
Yeah.
here. So there's all those subliminal
You got
messaging.
the dogs at the dog billboard at
Yeah,
the
so
dog
we have
park.
a dog. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
Gulch. We have the
Yeah.
dogs on the billboard.
Yeah. Next question. This was one, I think this is just me personally asking, because this is what, you know, as being younger, or at least not.
You're not that young anymore.
I know I'm not young anymore, but being around a lot of people that are well seasoned, that actually have experience, you opened up my horizon to a different type of lifestyle by hanging out at the Predators, going to see those games, getting all those experiences. I was just sitting back saying, how does someone structure this to have a suite, or and not so much the flashiness
just
of
money?
it. Okay, well, I guess it is that, but
Yeah.
but I'm sure you can just go in and buy a suite, and that's great. But how do you go about structuring that in your business to say, I think this is the year that we should implement this for our culture, for our business?
It was just a way of raising our profile, because we're part of a kind of an exclusive club. If you're a sponsor with the Predators, then you get to meet the other sponsors. So being a suite owner then allowed us to elevate that presence within. So now I guess we were maybe a minor sponsor. Now we're actually getting up there with some of the other big sponsors. So we get to meet those guys. But also it was a way of being able to invite clients, agents on the team, to be able to reward them and say, hey, awesome job. Do you want to go to the Preds game tonight? But it wasn't just the games, it was the entertainment that we have there. So it was kind of an investment in ourselves, and that I wanted to benefit from being part of the Predators organization, being part of Bridgestone, and being able to go to some of those events. Because prior to that, we'd had 4 tickets in the Lexus Lounge, which was great.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to go. So I got to go to every hockey game. I didn't go to every music event or every event that was there, apart from the final. Is it the Final Four or Sweet 16? There's some basketball. So being able to go to that meant that now I could actually enjoy something for myself. I'm a musician, that's
Yeah.
what brought me to Nashville. So I appreciate any music. I think I will go to any event because to me, I may not like the style of music, but I could probably go in and appreciate the fact that even though this is a rap band, not my favorite musical genre, but if they're coming to Bridgestone, then that means there's an appeal, and I would go and I go,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. I went to see a death metal band, and there was some good stuff in there. I went to see
Good experiences.
yeah, a bunch of like teeny bopper bands, and then turns out they're actually really good.
Yeah. So, wrapping this thing up, what is Gary's end goal? We had a lot of questions and a lot of it about real estate. I figure we touched on all that.
My
but
angle for what?
The question just was, what's
What's
your
my
angle?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're referencing real estate, and if it's about
It's probably
don't-
real estate, lifestyle, everything about it.
I mean, I don't live an extravagant life, but what you do is you try and, again, it's a cliche, but we're trying to create opportunities for the agents on the team so they can actually go out and build a successful career within the team on the foundation of what we've built.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we need agents to work with us, because if we're generating all these leads, then you can drown in leads, but you really want to get agents that want to work with you on a team to develop their business, but also to enhance my business. So together, we're building the business, because now, like I said, it's a new thing. We've just got to the point where we have 100% of the Realtor.com market. Well, I couldn't do that as a single agent.
Yeah.
The agents on the team couldn't do it as single agents, but collectively, if we're all working together, we can all contribute, and it takes me, Deborah, Johnny, we're all investing in the future, so that enables us to create more opportunities for the agents.
Very cool.
That's my angle. And
Great
then,
angle.
Then I want to go back to Italy, so
Yeah.
got to earn some money to go
Money
back
for
to
traveling
Italy.
this year.
Yeah,
We're also going off this summer.
well, we have a wedding in
Yep.
Italy, so just like you, got to focus on that,
Yeah.
and go to Sorrento.
Are you bringing the dogs?
No.
Got to bring the dogs.
Yeah. It would,
Dogs got to travel too.
yeah, that would be that. We would need a private jet for that, but that would be awesome.
Hey, we'll make it happen. If anyone wants to reach you, what's the best way possible if you're here in Nashville, if you're
Best way
looking
possible, just go to GaryAshton.com.
to don't sell
Without
the intel?
Yeah, exactly. Don't
Cool.
sell without the intel.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Gary. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.